we say our former thinking was soft and mushy when we threw up our hands in doubt and said, we don't know. So just a little bit on the logic part.
Yeah, well, that's where we start from in a way. When you're in like the deep cave of selfing, yeah, you have to use self as an antidote to selfing. Yes? So you explore, investigate selfing as a self. Do you know what I mean? Because you're identified as the one that's exploring, and then it gets to a point where hopefully it's like this old master used to say, you have a thorn in your foot, and so and it's bothering you as you're living or walking. Yeah? So you get another thorn and take it out, but you don't replace the first thorn with the other thorn. You throw both of them away. So in this case, you have the thorn of selfing, and you're going to use the other thorn of selfing to take one out. And then when that one out is gone, you'll throw the other one away. You won't replace it with another form of selfing. Yeah? So it says here, to selfing, it maybe won't entertain anything. So now you have to logically show it and bring up some reasons and get it to a point of being convinced so that it will let go of its stranglehold, and then sooner or later you can entertain being free of it. But at first you may not be able to be entertaining being free of it because its stranglehold is too much. So you have to use its tools to loosen it up. Yes? But there's a point where that stops, and then there's something else takes over the game, which is talked about in the book, where something will occur with no thought or effort on your part. It will seem like you're placed in a position of neutrality. The problem will not exist for you. Yes? That's not based on reason and logic. That's based on another, to me, the program of the fourth dimension, the spiritual realm. So while we're identified as what is the center of the third dimension, which is the world of selfing, yes, we're going to probably have to use self as an antidote to get out of self to a certain point to that can really happen, yes? Yeah, just like I'm using language now, but really the whole point is the energy in the meeting. It's not the language. But most people wouldn't sense the energy. They go home with the concepts. So they go home with the envelope, and that's what they think about. They don't even look at the invitation because of the training of being of the selfing, which is to know and understand and get. But it's like a subterfuge where we're giving you a conceptual envelope, saying, yes, there is no self and this and that. But it's really the energy of the group conscience in the room that, to me, is the food. Yeah? And that has nothing to do with logic or reason. Nothing to do with logic or reason. It's a whole other ball game. Logic and reason is the world of nouns. Verbing is the mystery. It's the I don't know. It's the crazy wisdom, sometimes they call it. There's old schools in Tibetan Buddhism called crazy wisdom schools, where the people that were entertaining it seemed to be crazy to outside people. They seemed to be bums and fucked up and totally insane, but they're incredibly free at the point, yes? But to a reasonable and logical mind, they look like bums. Because a reasonable, logical mind cannot recognize someone who's a master of verbing. Yes? They just can't. It doesn't make sense. Yes? So some people will do things you don't think they should do as a teacher or a master. And you get perplexed by their behavior because it doesn't make sense to your little conditioned head. They're sort of crazy. You think they should always be nice. Sometimes they're not nice. Sometimes they yell at people and they go, hey, you. And you think, oh, he got angry. That means he mustn't be that. No. Anger happens, bro. There's no one there to be angry. I'm not angry. There's anger in a sense. So everyone with the glasses of reason and logic, that can take you to a certain point out of the cave, but it's still darkness. What takes you out of the cave is the light. And that's not reasonable and logical. It just is. Yes? So maybe it's so back in the cave, there's absolutely no light, so you got to use the reason and logic of your own fucking head until you get to a point where you see the opening of the cave, hopefully some light's there, then you discard reason and logic and you abandon yourself to the light. Yes? Abandon yourself with no consideration. Just let it go. Take a jump and you'll see you have wings. Yeah? There's no reason or logic to it. It seems like you shouldn't jump because you believe you don't have wings. So you abandon yourself and you realize you give up at all this need to have no mental security by knowing, and you just go, hey, and then you fly, brother. So that has a point, and then it has a point where it ends. Just like hope has a point. In the beginning when you come in AA, hope is there because you were hopeless. But hope after a while is a disservice because you're not seeing things as they are. You're just hoping it's going to get better. So at one point, hope is really valuable in the cave, in the journey seemingly out of the cave. But at another point, hope is actually a disservice. Because you're hoping, it's a way of mind not accepting what's happening. It's hoping it could be different. And it's just another way of mind disregarding what's going on. Yeah? And if you disregard what's going on now, what you're really disregarding is the consciousness of what's going on. And that's your own nature that's being revealed. So when we keep saying no to what's happening, we're really saying no to the consciousness of what's happening. And then we go, no, I don't like what's happening. I'm going to live in what's not happening. And there's no consciousness there. That consciousness has been enslaved to making what's not happening. Yeah? In what's happening, the consciousness is available. You can recognize it because it's happening. Yes? It's a verb at this point. This is not a verb. It's like a mental verbing. It's not real. This is real. This is make up and this is real going on. So that's what I find. That sense of verbing is selfing. I can't know it as a noun. I tried for years. It was impossible. I tried to do the verb of meditation as a noun. That didn't work. Did all these practices as the practitioner, that as a noun, the practitioner me. That didn't work until I was willing to give up that and just like be almost naked and not have anything that I knew going on. Something was revealed to me. Not to me. It was revealed. Yes? Beingness. And I recognized I'm a present tense verb. That's the whole thing that was recognized. And I believe, quote unquote, God's a present tense verb. You tell me the difference. See, if you think you're a noun, then you want to know God. You want to know Him. Yes? But when you, like that, I used a statement last night in Toronto. It said, to know God is to be God. That's how you know God, by being God. See? How you know God is being God. That's the verb. Yeah? And the verb is manifesting right this second, Mitch. The head and the thoughts that you're looking at.
Because that scared me a little bit.
An old teacher said...
In AA, they always tell you, like, there's this old thing they say, like, the only thing you got to know about God is that you're not Him. But that's not true. Like, that's the thing that always bothered me about AA. It's like, they're telling you, it's kind of like they're trying to say, don't play God, right?
Yes.
Don't play God, which is true. But the thing is, I think, you got to want to be God, become God, your own God, be not like God.
That scares me, though.
Who does it scare?
Because there's no separation between you and God. If you're the same person, if you're the same thing, then you are. It's like if you're going to know God, then you're still saying He's like that guy who lives down the street. He's separate from you, and it's like something separate. If you're going to know Him, then you don't know Him yet. Something is going to happen in the future. That's meaning that it hasn't happened yet, and that He's not you. That's the thing that bothers me about that statement. Like, it doesn't. I mean, I can see you saying it scares me, but it's like that's you. I don't mean you, like self in you. I mean, I think
My
you
true
can't
nature, my
separate.
spirit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you see, so it's saying the way you know God is being God, in a sense. So what you call knowing God is actually being God. It's a verb. Knowing God would be sort of sterile, in a sense. I know this topic called God. I know it now. But the living of it is being, yes? That's when it's juicy. And we need juice. Just mental knowing doesn't hold water when the shit hits the fan, does it?
It's actually blocking out. I've seen it. I'd sit in the background on Thackeray Avenue. A friend of mine sitting there, and he was getting fed, and then the logic and reason kicked in, and I mean, his whole body did like a jerk. And then he got up and he walked out.
Yeah.
It was like the head kicked in after like 45 minutes or so, and he jumped up. It was wild to watch.
We had a weird thing at AA meeting last night. We had a weird, I mean, it was really weird for me. I went to this AA meeting and I got completely freaked out. I'd just been saying the day before, like, I was talking to my daughter on the phone and she was telling me, you know, she's so proud of me and all this stuff. And I was saying AA is like the best cult I've ever researched that I felt was a good fit for me as a cult. sitting there, and it was like
Again.
it was like the
I
devil.
have
It
tea.
was like the forces of evil. It was like all this ego and all this like everybody was talking. It was about the past and about the future. And it was this whole like work ethic that was being emphasized. Like, you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
there yet, but if you do all this work, you can be like us. And
The
there's
victory
a
group.
hierarchy. I don't know the name of the group. What's the name of the group? Sunday night.
I don't know.
I don't know the name.
6:30.
I mean, I know.
So, I mean, 6.
We're not getting
Better
off.
you don't
He's
know.
not
Mike,
gonna
hold
talk.
on a second.
But it was like it,
Hold on a second. I gotta get him some tea.
Alright.
Hold on.
it's like
I'm the only tea man.
I was gonna drink tea, but there was coffee made.
Was that over there?
Gee, if you
We
like.
don't want to say we don't want to say what meeting it was. We're not naming names because it was just it could happen at any
I'll tell you, it
meeting.
was the one over at St. Paul's. Dunkin's one. I don't know the name of it.
But
No, I'm
it
just
totally-
wondering because I think that meeting there.
It could happen at any meeting. It just totally
Stay away
freaked me
from it.
out. It was like this whole emphasis on like what we were like in the past, what we're gonna be like in the future if we all do this work. Like we're not there now, you know. And I almost like sometimes at meetings like I close my eyes so I'm not concentrating on the people. I'm not looking at them. Sometimes I close my eyes.
happens a lot.
But sometimes I close my ears too, because I don't even want to hear the bullshit they're
Yeah.
saying. I just want to get the vibe of what's going
So
on.
it's like with
I
God,
don't even want to hear the words.
Experiencing God.
I don't even want the
What an
personality
experience
that's attached to
itself.
it. I don't want the
That's what it's
story,
doing.
the personal story. I don't want somebody like glorifying their own
No,
personal
they missed
experience.
the whole thing. It's like the energy in the room is